Hi Aquarius, this is your reading for June 2017, and it's all about love and relationships. So let's see what's going on. Okay, the first card is an Eight of Wands. I have the shadow side, which is also called the devil in other tarot decks. And this is a King of Wands reversed. So wands are a little dominant here in your past. And then we have a Page of Wands. This is the Hermit reversed. This is the Star. Okay, so you have three major arcana cards so far. I have the Moon, fourth major arcana. I have Four of Cups reversed. I have a Knight of Swords. And swords, of course, represent air. That's your energy. So this is all very interesting. You have some very strong major arcana cards coming out. You also have some fire here. And I think if there's been a consistent theme throughout all of the June readings for all the signs, is a lot of fire. A lot of dominance here. And when I say dominance by fire, I'm talking about that fiery, passionate energy where things speed up. They get a little bit intense, okay? And that can be a good thing. I'm not trying to put one element down or one particular astrological energy or sign down. But I get a feeling that some of you are going through some very intense experiences. Things are speeding up or going quickly, but also there's a sense of creativity and inspiration and trying to take control over your life, pushing forward, and that can always be a good thing. And then the other thing that I'm feeling out with these wands is just as far as relationships, is just being attached to particular people who, especially with this King of Wands in reverse, about people who, like I said, who can dominate, because anyone with fire energy is very extroverted. They know what they want. They're very confident. And it's just it feels very much like you have people in your lives who are directing the relationship, who have a strong influence over the relationship. So that's pretty much what I'm feeling with the wands here. As you know, Aquarius, you are an air sign, even though many people assume it's water because you have aqua, the nature of water. But this is more about the combination of the firmament, the air, the power of air to be everywhere. Air signs, lots of intense thinking, living in your head. And I also want to point out that the star is associated with Aquarius. So this is a good thing. And you have a Knight of Swords here. So you have two strong elements here because knights are always about action and change. The star can be a very powerful influence in the tarot. It means that you have hopes and dreams and aspirations, and you're pushing through, you're thinking in positive terms. So that is a pretty good thing. But you do have, as far as major arcana, the shadow side, where especially with this King of Wands in reverse, the shadow side is always about pushing back against negative influences, someone else's desire to control you, breaking the bonds of addiction, breaking even the bonds of your own negative thinking and fears. Likewise with the Hermit, and this is in the center of your spread. The Hermit is about solitude, and being upright, this Hermit can be about searching for enlightenment, trying to understand a situation, getting perspective. And sometimes it's good to be alone in those cases. But when the Hermit is in reverse, it can mean that you're pulling back, you're unable to cope. And I think it's interesting that the Hermit is followed by the Star. So in this present situation, because both cards are in the row where the present is, I get a feeling that you, Aquarius especially, are tired of thinking, living in your head, and you're trying to pull out of it. Okay, the Star is trying to help the Hermit pull out of that negative energy, because you can see that the Hermit is on a cliff holding up a light. They're trying to find their way, and because this is negative, it means that maybe you're still blind to certain things, that you still don't know what you're going to do about this relationship. And maybe this has a lot to do with loneliness. I get a feeling that this King of Wands in reverse, someone, especially with this shadow side, that this King of Wands might have done something very hasty, because you have this Eight of Wands, which is about things, an unexpected event, unexpected messages, surprises, things happening very fast. And so I think that you've been blindsided by this energy of the King of Wands, whoever it might be, that maybe there was a breakup, a betrayal that just hit you out of the blue. So then you have that Moon in your future. You still have fears. You might still have, you're still feeling that you're not safe, that you might get hurt again. And that is perfectly understandable. So, very strange, Aquarius. It seems as if someone really, really hurt you. And maybe there was an event or a breakup or something that happened that you didn't expect to happen. And it's going to take some time to recover. The good news is that you have this Page of Wands as well. This Page of Wands is about adventure, starting this energy. The King of Wands was reversed. I think it's interesting you have a Page of Wands in your present. And pages are always about young children, someone young, someone maybe even a little bit immature, but it's a beginner. You don't know everything. And so I'm also looking at this change and this shift from someone who could have been powerful, or someone who made a bad decision, who didn't know what they were doing. They ended up hurting you. And then they get knocked back down to the energy of this Page of Wands. They have to start over. And maybe this is about them having to win your trust back. Maybe this is about them thinking, okay, I messed up, so what can I do? What can I do to make it right? What can I do to keep the relationship? So that is definitely one interpretation I'm seeing, especially seeing that it started off with the Eight of Wands. So this is a very interesting spread, and I definitely feel that some of you Aquarians could be attached to someone who doesn't think through, who thinks only about themselves, that here they are in the relationship and they go from one thing to another. They make decisions without taking into consideration your feelings. They've got you confused. They don't know if they want to be committed. They don't know what they want. I'm definitely getting that sense, because in spite of the Page of Wands and the Star, it feels like you're still isolated. It feels like you're still trying to figure out what's going on. And at the same time, with the shadow side, you still have feelings for that person. And you don't like it. You don't like having feelings for someone who could still continue to hurt you. And that is why when we get to the future, that moon is showing up. We still have those fears. But not only that, you have a Four of Cups here. And as some of you who are my regular subscribers probably know, cups represent water. It's the undercurrent of emotion. And we're looking at not just emotional detachment when it's upright, but when this is in reverse, this could mean really being self-indulgent, only thinking of yourself. And I don't think this is you. I think it's the other person. I'm seeing a lot of passive aggressiveness and someone demanding your attention, like me, 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 me. Think about me. That's, just someone who's very self-centered. So I'm looking at this King of Wands alongside this Four of Cups. I'm looking at the immaturity of the Page of Wands, someone who's like a little child, someone who plays on your sense of maturity and responsibility, who keeps messing up. But you're still trying to, with this star, which is associated with Aquarius, you are still trying to be the adult. You are still trying to see the positive in this relationship. Because if you can't see the positive, and you're only engulfed by the negative, it seems like you're just between these two negative forces. You want to be positive, you want to be in love with this person, but at the same time, this person is just bringing a lot of hurt, pain, and confusion into your life. Okay? And keep in mind, so once again, you have that image of the little boy, and you see the mermaid offering another cup, and the little boy's pouting. So for some of you Aquarians, it's not even about someone hurting you. It's about someone who is not being mature in the relationship, that you are the emotional foundation. You're the one who has to emotionally take care of this person, and they're probably draining you of your energy. And not only that, when I'm looking at this Hermit in the center of your spread, I'm just getting a feeling that some of you are just being left alone, and then this person comes into your life and then they leave, and they're just like a little kid. They come and they're with you and they get what they want, and then they just skip off and they go on to meet someone else. All of this back and forth. Because remember, fire is a very quick, intense energy. And if it's not anchored with emotions, emotional commitment with water, or even grounded with pentacles, which represents earth, that person can be sort of wishy-washy. And so what I'm seeing with this person is not a lot of grounding. I'm seeing a lot of wands, with this King of Wands being negative and in reverse. I feel like this King of Wands is sort of pulling the Page of Wands and the Eight of Wands into very negative directions for you. And so when we finally get to that Knight of Swords, the last card in this spread so far before I pull the outcome card, then now I'm looking at you taking change in action. I'm looking at this, and keep in mind, this Knight of Swords is facing the moon. You are facing your fears. You're facing this Four of Cups, and you're raising your sword for clarity and truth, and like, okay, I've had enough. This situation in your relationships, it may actually bring you to that point. But I definitely see that as a good sign. I see that as things shifting in your favor, and definitely you pulling out of that shadow side energy, being in bondage to that person, the manipulation of someone. And even if it's not about what a particular person is doing, It could also be about a relationship problem that's, you know, causing this inconsistency and this back and forth and all of this doubt. And it could very well be that the star is sort of an indication that it's pulling you out of this energy of the hermit in reverse, this loneliness, this confusion, this abandonment. And it's bringing you to that Knight of Swords, to where you're in your element and you're moving forward. You're moving forward to change, and you're being active. Okay, you're pulling out of it. You're doing things that will start making your energy more positive and making you happy again, with or without this person. So I've cut the cards, and your outcome card, it is a 7 of Wands. Now, if the question for some of you is, what does this person feel? How are they going to react? Once again, you are taking action with the Knight of Swords, and I see this person being more defensive. I kind of see this person, and sometimes this 7 of Wands is a good thing, where it's about defending yourself, having courage to tackle problems head on. But I always try to look at the relationships of the cards in total, not just by itself. And the traditional meaning of a 7 of Wands is about overcoming a big challenge or tackling a test and not being intimidated. But in the context of this relationship, especially with the King of Wands and the Page of Wands and the 8 of Wands, the person with this Wands energy, and they don't even have to be a fire sign, but I'm definitely sensing that, you know, this person will have a little pushback in the relationship. Okay? They might have, they might feel on the defensive a little bit, to where, you know, if they don't get their way, they're going to do this or that. And so as far as an outcome card, I see this as more of an answer for some of you of, how will this person react? What will this person do in the future? What can I expect from this person as far as their behavior or their commitment to the relationship? And the 7 of Wands could definitely be an indication that maybe this person won't back down. They're not going to compromise. And you might actually have a little bit of a struggle. It doesn't necessarily have to mean a bad thing, but I think that with the energy of the Knight of Swords in your favor, especially with the star, I think that for some of you, not all, that the outcome card with the 7 of Wands is, these problems, this person will need to be accountable and be responsible for what they're doing. And you are going to get to a point to where you can take it or leave it. But you are no longer going to be in that position of the Hermit reverse, to where you're abandoned, you're lonely, you're feeling that this person is not really committed to you and they're not really in your corner. You're tired of always being, you're tired of living in this energy of doubt and mistrust. And if you ever mess up with an air sign, it can be very difficult to get that trust back. So with this energy of the moon and the shadow side, I'm definitely feeling that there are things going on in a relationship which are a matter of trust, a matter of security, that are very important to you, Aquarius. And I think those issues are going to be addressed one way or the other. But it will hinge and depend on you taking up your sword, taking up the power of your element, which is air, and heading heading into your truth and standing by your truth, and simply not tolerating the wishy-washiness and the inconsistencies and being taken for granted. Okay, so that was your reading. So as always, I give I want to give a shout out to my regular customers, and I will be giving coupons for free readings. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate the kind comments on YouTube. And just a reminder, if you're still thinking about wondering if you should get a reading from me, you can always start off with a relationship energy reading, and it's become my most popular reading because I do look at what's going on between you and another person or a partner, what are the feelings, intentions, and where the relationship is headed. So you might want to consider checking it out. Go to tarotbyaire.com. I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope you guys are safe, sound, happy during this spring weather. Summer will be here pretty soon. And as always, I wish you love and light. So I'll talk to you soon, and take care.